Fellas, why do we do it? Why don't we appreciate women far more? You know, women still have value beyond their childbearing years. And when they create a family, when they provide for you, they protect you, perhaps that should have some value. Perhaps Dan Broderick would still be alive to this day, and he valued his wife, Betty Broderick, more. Guys, welcome to The Refectory. This is an episode on Betty Broderick. It's a podcast episode. We're going to explain the story, and I'll be back for more.
Betty's journey began in a traditional Catholic family in 1947 in Eastchester, New York. Her upbringing, steeped in conventional values, laid the groundwork for her understanding of marriage and her role as a supportive partner. This background is crucial to understanding the later turmoil in her life, especially as she navigated the challenges of her marriage to Dan Broderick.
Was it real? Was it real? Was it ever really real?
Their story, which started as a tale of young love and ambition, gradually turned into a complex narrative of control, betrayal, and the pursuit of justice. Betty played a significant role in supporting Dan's career, particularly in his decision to start his own law practice. Her contributions extended to designing the interior of his law office, a testament to her dedication and talent. The plot thickens with the entry of Linda Kolkina, Dan's later wife. Linda's admiration of the law office's design, unknowingly praising Betty's work, adds a layer of irony to the story. It highlights Betty's often unrecognized contributions and sets the stage for the ensuing conflict and Betty's growing sense of invisibility and despair.
Can y'all imagine how she feels?
Betty's story is emblematic of the struggles faced by many women who find themselves replaced and undervalued. After years of commitment and sacrifice, the pain of betrayal and the challenge of witnessing a former partner start anew can be devastating.
Devastating. Try earth-shattering. Heartbreaking. Peace-disturbing. Soul-crushing.
This theme is particularly poignant in Betty's case, as it underscores the societal pressures and expectations placed on women regarding age and beauty. The tragic events of November 5, 1989 are a culmination of years of emotional turmoil and perceived betrayal. Betty's actions on that fateful night, while controversial, are seen by many as the result of a relentless campaign that left her feeling cornered and broken. Betty's candid interview on the Oprah Winfrey Show brought her personal struggles into the public eye. Her story of feeling abandoned and replaced resonated with many, reflecting the experiences of women who feel marginalized by society's often unforgiving standards.
You know, men, we get older too. We can't just switch it up. Your word is your bond. Your family is your rock.
Spring of '83 in Europe, I noticed Dan was very tense and just not himself on a vacation. And that summer when I took the children camping, I couldn't reach him by phone the whole time I was gone. And the day I came back from that camping trip in summer '83, I knew I had a major problem on my hands, and it was Linda Kolkina.
Okay, and Linda Kolkina was the assistant that he'd hired for himself, is that true?
She was the receptionist in the law building where he worked, and then he subsequently, after becoming involved with her, hired her in September '83.
As his assistant?
As his assistant, which greatly upset me because Dan had no employees at the time. He was a one-man show.
And wanted it that way?
Yes, he liked total control. And when he finally told me he hired someone, I was happy. I said, great, you can spend more time with the family. Who did you hire? And when he told me Linda Kolkina, I was flabbergasted. She had no education, she couldn't type, she knew nothing about law or medicine. It didn't seem, of all the people in the world that he would hire to help him, that she would be the logical choice.
Did you ask him if he was having an affair?
Yes.
And he said?
Totally denied it and said I was imagining things and I was crazy and that Linda was a sweet, innocent young girl and there was absolutely nothing going on. Never was. And oh, and by the way, your fat, old, boring, ugly, and stupid just started coming on the scene then. He was unhappy with everything in his life.
He told you that you were fat and old and boring and stupid? He said
yes,
those words
and he
to you?
didn't like our home, and he didn't like our children, and it was, to me, it was an absolute classic midlife crisis. And I devoured every book on the subject.
To the point of even he got the red Corvette, is that true?
Got the red Corvette, the risky business sunglasses, the scarf around his neck, the leather jacket. I told him he was the American joke. If only he would go to a therapist of some sort.
A joke indeed. A 40-something-year-old man looking to replace his wife because she's gained some weight over the years after bearing him 5 children. Think about that.
But he wouldn't.
Now,
And he never admitted the affair, ever.
Okay, so up until this point, though, you didn't have any proof that there was an affair. Wasn't there a time, though, you went to his office building on his birthday? I don't know if it was his 39th birthday or there was a birthday, and you went to the office. Can you tell us about that?
In 1983, I had confided my problem to my best friend, Vicki. And Vicki said, Betty, go down to that office, make yourself known. And I never went down and confronted anyone, you know, with anger, but I went for his birthday and brought champagne and a present for him. And I got dressed real pretty. And when I got there, it was about, I think it was 4 or 5 in the afternoon for sunset. And Dan and Linda had never come back from lunch. And I was very upset. I saw her office for the first time with a picture of Dan on the wall that was taken before we were married.
The public's reaction to Betty's story was a mix of empathy and controversy. Many viewers saw her as a symbol of the struggles faced by women in similar situations, a rallying point for discussions about ageism, marital fidelity, and the challenges of rebuilding one's life after betrayal.
The affair was not the worst part. I mean, it was the start, but the legal assault and abuse was something that no one could have withstood, male, female, or anything.
As we conclude our exploration of Betty Broderick's life, we reflect on the broader implications of her story. It's a reminder of the emotional and societal challenges women face, the importance of recognizing their contributions in a relationship, and the need for support and understanding in times of personal crisis.
Dan just couldn't love what was right in front of him, his wife and his kids. If you ask me, it's pretty clear that Dan wanted Betty to go crazy. You know, it's one thing to fall out of love, it's one thing to get out of a relationship, it's a completely different thing when you weaponize your position, your power, your knowledge, your access to destroy another person's will. You never know how a person may respond. And this is what hopelessly ensnared Dan and Linda Broderick that fateful evening in November 1989. I've had a good time with you guys this evening. I hope that you'll tune in for the next episode. Please like, subscribe, and join our movement. Be here now. Refectory.